Hello darling hearts, Gaps Coach Emma here, Timeless Cookery. It's hard to know what to eat these days because there's so many different points of view. And this whole raw vegan and raw food, you've got to eat raw food, you've got to eat raw foods, has been killing some people, literally. Now, some people when their guts are broken can't digest raw foods. So it's not worth trying to do green smoothies and try to do raw salads and things if your gut's broken. You need to fix the gut lining first with well-cooked meat stock and animal fats. Then you might be able to enjoy some raw grated salad and whatnot. The point about raw is it comes with enzymes, and this is the key. We need enzymes to help us digest our foods. And back in the day, we never would have been eating any kind of meats or cheeses without a ferment. And fermented foods are packed with enzymes. So there's raw, and then there's raw fermented. And then there's also raw carnivore-ish. You know, have you heard of steak tartare? Tartare and tartaria is big at the moment in the truth community. Look it up, tartaria, and it's very interesting. Antiquitech, very interesting. Autodidactic is an excellent source for some of that information. Steak tartare is raw steak with an egg on top, a raw egg yolk on top. One time when I was little in France at a restaurant, my dad ordered steak tartare and it arrived on the plate and at the table, and we were all like, "Dad, they forgot to cook your beef burger." He ate it anyway. But raw steak is extraordinarily healing because it's full of enzymes. It comes with its own microbiome. That's why they age it. They leave it to hang beef for 21 days, 36 days, I don't know. Look on your steak wrappers, it'll tell you how long the meat is left there. And raw steak, I mean, I always used to say, why do they get there? They'd always ask you in the restaurants in France when I was growing up, and how would you like your steak? And you know, people would say saignant, which means bleeding. And as a child, I was like, that's disgusting. You want a bleeding steak? That's horrible. Actually, that is the way to actually eat it, to get the maximum benefit from it, because it's full of enzymes. And so your body will be easily able to assimilate it. When it's cooked through, well, when the meat is stewed or cooked for a long time in the stock pot, especially the bits of meat that are very close to the bone, they're relatively easy to digest for somebody who's a broken microbiome. And the stock is full of gelatin, collagen, and the amino acids, which also are going to heal those epithelial cells on your gut lining, which have got damaged, which is what's causing your digestive issues or your symptoms. Because when you get damage on the lining, it gives you leaky gut, and then you get whole pieces of undigested amino acids and polysaccharides into your bloodstream, and your body's like, what the hell's that? And that sets off an inflammation reaction, which is the source of nearly all disease. Doesn't really matter what your symptoms are. I don't care what they call the disease. It's either a deficiency or a toxicity, and it's caused mostly by leaky gut. Hi Paula, nice to see you. Got any questions? Stick them in the chat. So yeah, steak tartare. What an excellent source of food. There's a guy on Instagram at the moment called, I think it's Raw Meat Experiment. He's on day 130 or something of eating raw meat every day. It's really fun to watch him. He looks great. He's got a really great complexion, good energy. So yeah, what about biltong? Biltong is dried meat. Again, it's raw. It's still got the enzymes in it. It's still got all the good stuff in it. Cooking does destroy enzymes, so when they say eat raw, it's a good idea to eat raw, but it's a good idea to eat raw carnivore, actually, not raw vegetables. We're not very well designed to eat raw vegetables. Parasites cannot abide grated carrot and pumpkin seeds. And lots of other things. If they don't like it, that's a good thing. So it's good if we can eat some raw veg, but if your digestive system's broken, you're going to struggle. So yeah, biltong and dried meats come with their enzymes intact, which is excellent. raw egg yolks. I mean, when we cook a cracky egg or a boiled egg, you know, it's supposed to have the yolk runny, yeah, or a fried egg, runny yolk, because then it's not quite cooked through, which means it's still got the enzymes in it, which helps you to digest the food. Enzymes are like catalysts. Enzymes are a little thing that comes in and it makes magic between two reactions. You know, enzymes are catalysts. They help to change. So they change the egg yolk from, well, egg yolks don't really need any digestion anyway. They're super easy to assimilate, but enzymes will catalyze, help you digest big chunks of protein into the tiny little amino acids, which are like building blocks. They're like the Lego bricks that we build our own proteins with. Hi Peter, nice to see you. Got any questions? Stick them in the, what are some of the most amazing raw foods that give us a real buzz? Let's just think about this now. Gravlax. It's a bit like smoked salmon, but it's fermented raw fish. Super duper. Hi Cheryl, nice to see you. Oysters. I mean, for ages I was like, oysters? You know, they're like these slimy, like, hold on a minute. You put a tiny bit of chopped up shallot with some cider vinegar with the mother, which is a live culture of cider vinegar. So we want live foods because they're full of enzymes, right? And you put a splash of that sort of vinegary, oniony thing on your live oyster, knock it back and take 3 or 4 of them, and then see how you feel. Never mind about what it's like in your mouth and what it tastes like or whatever, you know, but see how you feel in a few hours. You're going to get a massive zinc hit. And having that live food in your belly just gives you a real buzz. This is why we also need fermented dairy and raw dairy. Raw dairy is very easy to digest. And we've got this massive whole lactose intolerance thing going on. It's because it's pasteurised. Pasteurised milk is impossible to digest. Whoever invented pasteurisation, Louis Pasteur, was a big fraud actually, if you read up on it. Louis Pasteur talked a load of rubbish. And on his deathbed, he recanted and he went, I got it wrong, please forgive me. My colleague Antoine Béchamp actually had a much better idea, which was terrain theory. Terrain theory rather than germ theory. So what we've all been doing the last 2 years, locked down for a germ theory. It's a theory, for heaven's sake. You know, it's a hypothesis. It's not proven. It's ridiculous to think that we can isolate tiny little bacteria and things and then say, well, that's the thing that's causing the thing. If you actually look into it, polymorphism, which is an interesting idea, which Antoine Béchamp was into, means that little bacteria will fulfill a function and do a job, and then they'll morph into something that doesn't look like what they looked like before. There's a whole universe of stuff we don't understand about bacteria, and I do not subscribe to germ theory. You are made of germs. I'm made of germs. We cannot survive without them. We're living with them in symbiosis. They help us to do all the work in our bodies. They don't want to kill us, the germs. They want to live with us happily in symbiosis, working together. Like we need them, they need us. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, raw is going to help with your microbiome to keep them happy. So oysters, you know, these are all the foods of the elite, aren't they? They're very expensive oysters. What about caviar? Raw fish eggs. Raw fish eggs, not cooked. Caviar, oysters, raw, steak tartare, raw, with an egg yolk on top, lovely. Yeah, and then you've got all the wonderful, the kefir, the kombucha, the kraut, the kimchi, all of those fermented foods. They're full of enzymes. And really, on GAPS, we try to, so GAPS is gut and psychology syndrome. For those of you who don't know, it's about gut. It's a gut healing protocol that's based on the ancestral heritage of Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride's Russian heritage. So it's about cultured cream, clotted cream, fermented dairy, yogurt. You know, fermented dairy is very easy to digest because it's pre-digested by the bacteria and it's full of enzymes, especially if it's made with raw milk to begin with, yeah? So try and find somebody who's supplying raw milk. They do exist out there. Go and look at the Western A Prize Foundation, find the raw milk map, and go and get your raw milk and start fermenting your own dairy. It's the quickest way to rebuild a broken microbiome. Now then, let me just see, because somebody just wrote something. I had heartburn for the first time this morning. Ooh, while drinking your stock. Interesting. I've never had heartburn. It's never happened. It's never happened with anything I've ingested on GAPS protocol. I hope it was a one-off. Interesting. Well, I'd have to know what was the meat you were using, and you know, how long did you cook it for, because was it a stock or was it a meat, was it bone broth? Because bone broth and meat stock are very different. Meat stock is what we want. We don't want bone broth on GAPS. It doesn't help to begin with if you're working on healing a broken gut. Anyway, darling hearts, live foods, every mouthful. One of my little catchphrases is fats and ferments. I mean, it's not really a catchphrase, it's just like a reminder. You need to be reminded, every mouthful we need to have some good fats. That means saturated fats, the ones they've been telling us not to eat for so many decades. Everyone's getting the message now. We need the animal fats desperately, actually, because we've been starved of them. I ate flora margarine in the 70s. And anyway, good fats and ferments, every mouthful. And you know, the ferments could be water kefir or milk kefir, kombucha, kefir, that I already said kefir, kimchi, kraut juice, veg medley, kvass is a great one. You can just make a lacto-fermented vegetable drink, bright pink. You use half a beetroot, a couple of carrots, a bit of ginger, top it up with water and put a splash of whey in it. Marvellous. Have a shot of that before you eat your food, and that is actually going to help with stomach acid and acid reflux. Actually, is because you need to stimulate your stomach acid. Sounds a bit topsy-turvy. If you get acid reflux, it means you haven't got enough acid in your stomach. And to stimulate that, you can have a little shot of kraut juice before you have your meal. It's an excellent way. See me at timelesscookery.com and join the club where we can really get into your specific problems, because you can ask me in the group. And you can learn how to get going with GAPS. I've got a 12-week course on the GAPS app, and I've got a video vault of over 50 little how-to videos, how to make liver pate, how to make meringues, how to use the foods properly in the kitchen, how to optimize the nutrition and get resilient so we can survive and thrive in these troubled times. It's not funny now. We need to take this really seriously. You need to be cleansing and nourishing every day with the food as the medicine. And if you're not, you're just going to get topped up, because it's so toxic out there. It's unbelievable. Right. See me at timelesscookery.com and let's get on with it. Lots of love. Bye.